Good evening and welcome everybody to WOR Season 18, round number 8. I should have written that down, but I haven't. But yeah, there we are. We are at the Bahrain Grand Prix and I am joined by Mr. Greenhorn again for this one. Wow, what a championship we've got in store after last week's race, and we'll go through this, everything with last week very, very shortly. But the standings, super close before I actually truly invite you in here. Sorry about that. But yeah, 6 points between the top three. Standings are absolutely ridiculously close.
Yeah, as you said, the standings are just every single week we have a new championship leader, and rightly so. It just is exactly what you want every championship fight, and it looks as though we're going to get that with every single race. It matters so much. Every point seems to matter. Last week it was Cameron Dowds. This week, TTM Flotman leads the way. Of course, you said 86 points, 84 points to his TTM compatriot of Furious, and then Cameron Dowds, of course, just in behind them on 80. So yeah, once again, another race where anything could happen. The championship could flip right on its head once more if a Joe Murphy could just slide a victory in here, potentially a Cameron Dow's victory as well. But you say never, anyone could win today.
I suppose really it should be time to go on to track, and let's have a look and see how things are. Well, looking right now, and we're on board with Flotman, who is coming around the final. Well, not the final two corners, the final two corners before the final two corners. It used to be 13 and 14, didn't it, at the top there? But now it's just 13. Now into 14 and 15, and down into the straight before we get completely nightfall here in Bahrain. And Brando's provisional pole, Flotman down in 8th, unable to go a bit quicker. Gabble, someone generally really good at qualifying, has pulled out to the right-hand side. He's not happy with his lap time. Danny Van Rooten on a lap down past the start-finish straight, only managing 11th for the time being.
Yeah, Danny Van Rooyen having a pleasant start to the session, still into the 27s though, which is a very respectable lap. Brando, as you said, top of the timesheets, 26.3 is a fantastic banker lap to have Barracu. Following him up, PlayStation, I should say, top 5 at the minute with Brando, Barracu, Ryan and Luca Rapassa, and the GT10 Ghost King Joe Murphy just separating Cameron Dowd and FRT Harrison in there with his 26.6. The times are flying in now. You can see everyone just getting those banker laps underway. Looks as though Toody's just still recovering from that last lap that he had. It's just a bit of a recovery lap, it seems. Not on a lap is Mr. TRT. Today, the rest of them, they've all done a pretty good banker. Gatkowski, Andrea Hazara, those in the 27s, they'll need to try and find a little bit more time. But I tell you what, those times, as early as the start of Q1, the start of the qualifying session is a very good sign.
Yeah, and something to note here, I say note, is very much the last 4 seasons we've graced Bahrain, which is season 17, season 16, season 14, and season 13, which wasn't console, it was Xbox and PlayStation separate. Every pole time was within a 127.2 to a 127.6. We've already beaten that, which is incredible.
Yeah, that is a incredible sign. It just shows how much the development really came on with the card especially. But yeah, you said 26.3 at the start of the session. Fantastic time by Brando, and of course Ryan is a McLaren teammate just close to him there, the 26.5. So bit of time to find for the rest of them. 26.7, 0.8 looks to be your kind of middle mark if you want to start kind of mid pack of the track. But I think the front runners will definitely pull out something in the 0.1s, maybe even a 25.9. I'm not too sure the exact times here in Bahrain, but as I said again, this pole position could go to absolutely anyone. As we know, Furious in P12 once again. Furious, as we say it almost every week, I feel like, Gareth, it's that Furious never high enough, but his race pace is always second to none.
I think there's a lot to be said about really how you set your car up to either go race pace or complete one lap pace. You go a little bit lower on the wings, and it gets you further up the order for qualifying, but it compromises a little bit in the race. Not a lot, but enough for other drivers to be able to capitalise and do a Furious.
Yeah, of course. That's what they need to do. They need to start having these better chances at trying to just qualify high. I think that's one of Furious's, I think he would say, is probably his biggest letdown in his driving style. He never qualifies exceptionally well compared to his championship rivals like Cameron Dowds, like Flopman. They qualify well and they also pick up the results. But Furious could have a lot easier races if they could just pick up these said results, just pick up a little bit better qualifying position, maybe a P6 or a P5 around in there and fight with the front train and be in that front train for as long as possible. I've picked up Gabba was on a lap, he hasn't validated this second attempt here for MVR Gabor, not the start to the session. He would be looking for the rest of them all. Just going to get himself going for a second lap here.
Yeah, it'll be Joe Murphy that sets the first one. And while no Parc Ferme because the lobby gets reset and everything. Some people forget. They do forget to change it. And B, some people just prefer the qualifying setup to a race. They just don't feel at home with it. So there is other mitigating circumstances for that. Plus, we've got to kind of just take it in our strides that Parc Ferme is still a thing, or otherwise we'll forget when it actually does get fixed. But Joe Murphy into Sector 1, nearly finishing Sector 1, round turn 4. Let's see how his sector time is comparisonly. He is a little bit slower than his previous lap time. I wonder how much time people are really going to gain in that first sector, because it is really only turns 1 and 2 that can cost you time.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to run wide, of course, on the exit of turn 4 as well. That's one of the easier places to invalidate. I think sector 2 as well, going down the hill, that's going to be one of the crucial corners to pick up a lot of time, and a lot of time will be lost. Up the hill he comes into the left-hander, keeping it 5th gear, getting as much traction as possible on the exit. A slight slide, but nothing that'll hinder him too much up the hill. Now, close to the right-hand side curb, you want to touch that curb enough to give you that little bit of extra rotation. Now, down the hill once more, dropping it to 4th gear, 10th and a half up on this 26.6 by Joe Murphy. Exactly what he needs at this point in the session. Down towards the final 3 corners. Now you've got the first corner coming up here, breaking at the 100-metre board, turning into the right-hand side, finishing out this second, and now the last corner there, back onto the straight, onto the power, and he actually is going to box this lap. Surprisingly enough, Joe Murphy not happy with the ending there.
Yeah, it did look like the back end stepped out a little bit on the exit of 15, which could have affected him. Maybe just mentality. He doesn't want to set a lap time that he doesn't. Well, it felt like he was going to go quicker. After that second sector split, you thought that is definitely quicker. So you do wonder why some of these drivers decide just to throw it in at the last minute into the pits. But here comes Cameron Dowds, then, someone that very much, and again, another driver that just throws it into the pits through the Ferrari there, as Ghost King goes quickest of all. See what TTM Nick can do as he's coming through. It's Sector 2 now. Turns 8 and 10, crucial. The hairpin of 8, and then the downhill hairpin of 10, where you can block up massively and cause yourself a world of pain there.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the places we said where that outside curve can be so deadly. If you just catch that a little bit too much, you're going straight on and heading right for that barrier in front of you. So you need to be careful going down the hill, hooking in that left-hand turn in. So crucial at that part in the lap. By the way, behind him as well, Furious is also still on a lap. So Furious, a little bit hindered by the Ghost, but he actually has backed out of the rest of this lap, I believe, as Furious. He has backed out of said lap. Anyway, TT and Nick will come towards the back end now of this lap, the final part of the track. You'll see him put on the DRS, get the ERS on as early as possible. He's actually run it before the line. Every driver does the same. Nick across the line, only into P11 with a half a tenth improvement to 26.753.
Just going on board of Getkowski, but he's invalidated. Ryan, then, someone that has done incredible on point scoring finishes this season. He's currently P4. He needs a couple of strong finishes. I mean, we've seen him in the standings, and he's nearly there. He's scraping on the externals of this championship fight, but he needs everything to go his way. But if he can keep on scoring points like he has, everything, it should look all right for him.
Yeah, it really should. I mean, he gets to the results enough for getting P4s, P5, P6s, but it's all just not enough. It's not enough to enter him into this title fight. He needs to start being a little bit more aggressive, going for these extra overtakes and trying to fight for the podium, the second place, maybe even the win. Because if he can pick up that first win, he could be right into a massive championship battle here, which is exactly what, of course, any driver wants to be in. But TRT Turi and Andrea jumping up to 7th and 9th after those laps. It looks like Luca Rapassa is going to get himself into the pit lane. So I thought he was going into the start of a lap. He isn't. I think we're going to have a bit of a quieter part of the track now, unless that is Quartz. It's GT10 Quartz actually, just kicking off what might be one of his final runs, but might just have enough time for a final run as well.
They go so close to that start straight finish, don't the wall there on the start straight finish, that you wonder if they're going to get too close and cause themselves to lose a front wing or a wheel. But at the moment, Quartz able to hold on. 5.5 minutes left of the session remaining. Let us know in the chat who you think it's going to take. Oh, goodness me, Quartz, that is well off the track. That's not what you need to do at that point at all, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, let us know who you think, and obviously to yourself as well. Who do you think's going to claim pole position with Ghost King currently sat there?
Yeah, Ghost King, of course, still at the top. I believe it is Brando on a lap just in behind Quartz, but now it is indeed Brando on a lap behind Quartz. So we need to see what Brando can do behind Quartz. But Quartz so far looks okay, just coming through this middle sector. Now he's going to be a 10th.5 up on a 26.8. It's enough to jump him up just outside of the top 6. He can find a little bit more time here. He will find himself potentially into that top 4 barrier. We'll see there. 3 more corners to go. Braking it just after the 100-metre board. Turning with 4th gear all the way through. Good traction and exit. Riding out that end curve on the left. And once again, we have another driver that backs out the last corner.
Brando, I don't think is going to duck in. Here he is across the line. It's a 26.2. He is looking very, very good. Joe Murphy throws himself into 3rd place for the time being with a 26.3. Gabor surely is going to set a lap time this time around of asking. He's the only driver not to do so, throwing himself into turn 14. Still agonisingly close to breaking that white line, but thankfully not enough. And across the line for Gabor, it is provisional pole. It's the lap time we were waiting for from Gabor, because we know how quick he is on one lap.
Wow, what a lap from NVR Gabor. As you said, we know what he can do in qualifying. This seems to really never replicate it in the race, and maybe today that can all change. What a lap. For 3 minutes left of this qualifying session, Gabor throws his name in the hat for the pole position shout. Brando, what a strong showing he's had so far. That's been a 1st place at the first few laps, 2nd place for his 2nd lap. There's 1 more lap to go after he pits. He's going to go for, I'm guessing, that pole position. He's only about just half a 10 short of getting ahead of Gabor for that pole position, but the rest of them all, again, just all kind of having slower sessions, I would say. The 0.5s and the 0.6s are good, but they're still 3/10 off of anywhere near the front.
Yeah, it's only a second separating 1st and 20th, which doesn't sound like, well, which sounds like quite a lot, but when you look down, it doesn't really. There's a lot of drivers very close on times. We've got no duplicates yet, but very close between Furious and Harrison, the battle for P15 in qualifying. That's ridiculously close between the two of them, but with surely 1 more run to go, it's still all to play for, really, and that is going to be the crucial thing. And with everything else going with it, when I'm saying everything else, the track limitations here are quite close, so leaving it to the last minute to absolutely do your final best lap sometimes has its hindrances.
It's absolutely, of course, the pressure's on in that final lap. You know you don't have any other chances to go for it again. You might have had a really slow start to the session. Now you're feeling all the pressure in trying to hook up that lap for the likes of Danny Van Ruyten and now on the track now GT10 Quartz. He's going to have to try and find the time at 26.8. Really not that strong. Even if he finds 2/10 in this lap, it only jumps him into P13. He's going to have to find at minimum here 4, 5, 10s to have any sort of shout at starting in the points here.
Let's see what all... Well, Quartz is going to be the first driver that sets a lap time out of all this. Unless, is Furious on a lap, or is he just finishing a lap? We'll go with Quartz. Let's see what Quartz can do. We've seen awful lot of him in qualifying so far, but he's shown promise, but not enough, I don't think, yet to break into that top 10.
No, you're right. He hasn't really had the pace to break into the top 10, but now might just be the time for him. Sort of turn 1 and 2 look pretty decent for the moment. Furious, by the way, isn't on a lap. He is just, I believe, just going to get himself going for one. No, he's actually pitting. Furious is finished for the session. You were right. Gareth Furious, P13 at best. What a hindrance potentially to one of the championship rivals. That could be Quartz anyway. Going for the first sector, a 10th up is something that cannot be complained about at all. 26.794 is respectable, but just not enough to jump him ahead of even Harrison in P16. Down the hill he went there. He's got that pretty nicely on the curb, on the DRS, and onto the battery, all the way down the straight, plummeting towards that uphill left-hander. Again, a very tricky corner. If it's not done correctly, it hooks a left-hand side curve. He gets on the traction early, and it looks as though he's got that almost perfectly. Up the hill then, right-hand curve, taking it for the extra rotation. What is his sector 2 split? He is 3.5 tenths up. Has he got any more time in the final sector? Let's just find out right now.
As he's heading down this, well, last straight before the start-finish straight into turn 14. The DRS will be open very, very shortly as he rounds these two corners, as he's surely not going into the pits. No, he's going very close as it goes into P6. Provisionally goes Quartz. That's a very solid lap time, but other drivers surely going to set to beat it.
Yeah, absolutely. There will be some drivers, by the way. I don't think there's going to be some of them that's going to miss a final lap. Yes, Gabor, Barracu. Has Barracu made it? Barracu has made it, I believe. But Justin has actually missed out. Sorry, Barracu has missed out as well. Justin, Barracu, and Gabor all miss out on a final lap attempt. So Brando, who is already a 10th and a half up in the first sector, might just have a good shout here at pole position.
See how it all go down. Cameron Dowson across the line in the Aston Martin, only 8th fastest for the time being. Justin has finished his lap time. I don't know where else to go. Joe Murphy surely is going to be somewhere on the lap time. He is. Let's see what he can do. Ryan is only down in, well, Ryan's down in 11th, and Ghost King goes quickest of all. He was quickest at the early parts of this qualifying session, but now throws in a 26.1. Brando has a little bit of time. I'm not sure which McLaren is going slow out of the two of them, but Joe Murphy is just behind them on track. We could see one of the McLarens take pole, or we could see Joe Murphy do something special. Brando doesn't go quickest. Ryan doesn't go any quicker. Here goes Joe Murphy. He doesn't go any quicker. Quartz, I think, has done his lap time. Flopman, I think, possibly one of the last ones other than Gatkowski.
No, Flopman has actually made a mistake on his lap, and he also has backed out of it. Gatkowski crossed the line, only 19th place for Gatkowski. GT10 Ghost King. Not said that name this season. Welcome to the pole position club. That will be a pole position here in Bahrain for GT10 Ghost King. Gabor holds on second. Brando take P3. On the starting with Barracu holding second row alongside Brando. Crucially, by the way, Furious 17th, Flopman 14th, Cameron Dowson 10th.
This championship battle has just taken a completely new meaning, I think, and we will momentarily go, well, in a moment go and have a look at those standings and wait just for everything to come up. But Ghost King, it kind of, I don't want to say out of nowhere, but it kind of was. I mean, he was pretty quick early doors in this session, but that's a very, very solid lap time for the Kick Sauber car, as Ryan, I think, will be disappointed with 12th place there as it's shown. But let's quickly go down the order. Ghost King, Gabor, Brando, Barracu, Tudi, Joe Murphy, Quartz, Luca Ripaza, Giovanni, and Cameron Dowd rounding out the top 10. And then we've got Nick, Ryan, Justin, Flopman, Danny, Andrea, Furious, Hazara, Gatkowski, and Harrison. And Gatkowski usually shows a little bit more pace than that as well. So it's a little bit of a weird one through all today. We will just quickly remind you of the standings. It's 6 points between Flopman, Furious, and Cameron Dowds in that order. Joe Murphy with an outside chance on 26 points behind Flopman, and then 28 points is Ryan. Brando, I mean, with his qualifying pace, we could say he's there, but I don't think he will be. With 49. Quantum on 38. He was not here today. Barracu, we wonder what would have happened to him had he been able to finish his lap time. He wasn't even able to set a lap time because he was too, I suppose, slow to get to the line. Volokongan in 9th, and then Justin there in 10th with 27 points. I think it's time, really, to go through the race results from last week at Monza and just see how close it was.
Yeah, that was one of, if not the best endings to a Tier 1 race all season long. That seriously was such a hectic ending. So it was so anticipated to be a fantastic ending. It really pulled through. You can see the gap. Flopman and Brando separated by half a tenth is something that is always incredible to see. Furious, Volakong and Joe Murphy and Ryan all having again a very close finish across the line. Everyone else a little bit further back. But this was the turning point in the championship. Flopman winning, of course. Cameron Dowds down in 7th. Furious holding on to move himself up to hold on to 2nd place. Cameron Dowds from 1st to 3rd after that performance in Monza. This week he has to try and pull through and really outscore his rivals.
Yeah, sorry, I was just panicking because I thought we were getting racing, but then I realised it is World Online restart as always while the game is in the state that it is. So we do apologise for that, ladies and gentlemen. We will be stopping waffling very, very shortly and get the racing underway. But another tight qualifying session, really, isn't it? It's very unexpected. Brando is, we know how good he has been, but where's the championship leaders?
Yeah, it's a confusing, really. This is going to be one of those races where anything can happen. Again, we've got Furious coming from the back. You've got Flopman coming from reasonably around the back as well. Right in 10th place is Cameron Dowds. Everyone else up ahead of them. Joe Murphy's ahead of them. Brando's ahead of them. These drivers that have had good results this season, had those consistent results to look back on, and now they've got the chance to really try and gain massive points on people that are going to have to fight through this very tricky field.
It's. I don't personally. I don't get how the champions, the championship battle is outside the top 10 pretty much, because that's where Cameron Dowds is 10th, isn't he? So, and he's the 3rd place driver in all this. It's mind blown how close it is, which is great. It is fantastic for WOR, fantastic for console tier 1, because you don't know who's going to do what and how and where, and the question, probably not on everyone's lips, but a question on a few people's is, can Ryan get to the end of the season with scoring points in every single race?
That would be quite the achievement. Of course, Ryan would love to end with the statement of having a point in every single race, but I think he knows himself, the position he's in, that he can have a really good shot at trying to go for a good title fight here. He knows he's not that far out of it. He just has to try and score himself a 2nd, a 1st, just a good strong podium, and maybe a run of a 4th places would really see himself step up. But with the rest of the drivers around him all winning races and slowly catching him, it might just be staying the same for the rest of the season for him.
Yeah, it might and will. Well, I think, are we... Sorry, talking about the lobby, are we having to find ourselves back in it? Are they doing a complete restart of the lobby? I think they are. So let's get ourselves back into that one and hope very, very shortly we will be back again racing. But while we wait, we will just have a quick word from the sponsors of WOR, which is Grid Finders and NXT. Welcome back, everybody, and wow, qualifying done and dusted here in console tier 1 of WOR, but that doesn't mean there isn't plenty more action to have tonight, is there? We've still got a massive championship to continue. We're going to be banding on about this for ages, but before we fully, well, I say fully, go further into detail, likelihood is it's going to be a dry race, and if it is, hard to soft, I think maybe the strategy for people to do. Going off previous games, I think, and watching what I saw from the PC side of things a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, hard to soft's probably an option. I'm not sure what the tyre wear is like on the softs at Bahrain. I know the soft tyre wear in majority of tracks is very, very bad, and it's always very high, but I think a medium hard might be an option, running the hards a bit longer, just because obviously they don't wear as much. Or maybe the hard medium finishing on the faster tyre might just be the option. Of course, last week there were drivers that varied in those hard medium, medium hard strategies, and some got messed up by the safety car, some gained from it. But overall, I think it'll be a mixture of strategies again. Medium hard, hard medium. I think will be the preferred ones though.
Yeah, and something else is obviously we talked about it briefly in the qualifying session, but you can pick up penalties here, like last week as well, which really made the end of the race really interesting even more. And if you haven't watched that, I do recommend rewatching that at the end of this one, because so much happened at Monza. I know it's one of your favourite tracks, isn't it? So it's so much action. It was probably one of the best Monza races I've ever commentated on, which is well, not saying that much, but yeah, but I don't know if it is or not. But it was a very, very good Monza race. And actually, let's just have a look at those positions again, because Brando and Flotman separated by less than 0.1 of a second. You don't get that every day.
No, you never do. Half the fact you're half a tenth separation. Not even like it's like a tenth. It's half a tenth. That is ridiculous for any sort of finish. It was so close. It was almost Flopman's throwaway in the end, but Brando just couldn't nose across the line, and Flopman taking the victory. And of course, that sudden change of fourth and fifth, full of Kongan stealing fourth from Joe Murphy, and then Joe Murphy just holding on to fifth from a chasing NLR Ryan. Yeah, it was seriously one of the best finishes that you will see. If anyone wants to go rewatch that, I would highly recommend. Of course, behind was a little bit quieter. Cameron Dowds confirming himself 7th, Today 8th, Suzu Tom in 9th. Of course, Nick just rounding out the points there in 10th place.
And after this, we've got 3 more rounds to go as well. We've got Mexico City, Saudi Arabia, and finishing in the figure of 8 circuit of Suzuka in Japan. That is going to be 3 amazing rounds after this one. We still don't forget. Hopefully, you're going to still be watching this in about 10 minutes' time when the race gets going. We are getting to the lobby, so strategies and everything will be very shortly hit. We've spoken briefly what we think strategy-wise is going to be. I mean, I don't know. I feel some people are going to play it safe. Some people are going to do that specialist, go that little bit longer. But we can't count out our safety car either. They're not as common here, but they can happen.
Yeah, safety cars sometimes can happen here if there's a bit of an incident early on, especially down into that downhill corners on the first lap. Everyone's crowded together. There's not much space to go for. Some people think there's more space than there is, and it can just end up being an absolute carnage fest in the end. So, yeah, hopefully it's going to be an interesting start. It's not going to be too hectic, as well I hope for, but maybe now it's going to be a bit more enjoyable and more of a stable start. Because I know that this race is long. It's going to be all about the DRS games. Who's got DRS in the final lap is going to be one of the deciding factors of who's going to win this race.
So there's 100 points on offer, really, for these guys, maximum, between now and the end of the season. Are we going to see the top 3, Cameron and Flotman and Furious, really push it, or are they just going to be a little bit more conservative now at this point in the latter end of the season?
I'm not too sure. I think it's going to be a case of, for the likes of Cameron, who's now the chaser, and of course Fury being so close behind, they need to make sure they outscore Flopman but also make sure that others behind don't have the opportunity to catch them. As we know, Joe Murphy, so strong at so many tracks. He knows that he's definitely one of the best drivers at Japan. So, knowing that round is coming, he might have a bit of confidence to go for it in these earlier rounds. And then when it comes to that Japan race, have the confidence to really try and win that race, which will also see him enter a title fight come those final rounds. But yeah, as we know, Mexico City, Saudi Arabia, and Japan is something that is going to really kind of throw a spanner in the works for a lot of these drivers. Some of them being on pad, of course, not many pad favoured tracks there. Saudi Arabia and all those kind of harder kind of street circuits are going to be something to attack for them, but nothing I'm going to write off for the rest of them. I think it'll be an interesting finish of the season.
Now, there's not many. Actually, I can't. We're going to go racing very, very shortly. I say very, very shortly. We're going to go racing now. We're on 5 lights and away we go here in Bahrain. And it looks like a very good start for both Gabor and Ghost King. But Brando is desperate. He flies himself up to the inside and tries to find a way far past Gabor, but it's not happening on this occasion. And Barracu still there, trying to get away through Brando, who's made a mistake in his attack. Tootie's up there as well, who we barely spoke about, having a very, very good race, and it's a gaggle of cars behind, but it's all pretty safe and simple at this moment in time.
Yeah, everyone seems to have got through pretty cleanly. Gabor holds on to second place, Ghost King holds on to that first place. Seems to be the moves like GT10 Quartz on the back of Tootie. Tootie getting centred on the inside by Quartz. Quartz may have just got that move finished, but Tootie's not giving up just yet. He's back on the battery. He's going down the straight. Oh, bit of a collision between Luca Rapassa and Joe Murphy. Joe Murphy may have just got away with it. He's ghosted through Giovanni and Luca Rapassa. Luca Rapassa off the track, still battling away as the rest of them. They all get through okay so far. I believe, though, damage on the Sauber car of GT10 Quartz and has lost a left wing end plate.
That's not ideal for Quartz at all, and through all this, not ideal. But Ghost King leads the way as he heads on down into turns number 14 and 15. It's all a little bit single file, but Justin, I think that is in the background trying to attack Nick. We've only got 2 medium compound runners, and they are Zara and Furious, trying to get themselves back into the swing of things, and Ghost King then obviously setting the fastest lap of the race. Everything really close. I think Justin and Nick in the background there. A few drivers popping to the inside of turn 1 and a few bits of argy-bargy and elbows out, and I don't think there's any further damage through with everyone else, but it's very, very close as Gabor takes the lead of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, Gabor getting through, the 2 teammates battling away in the Alpines of the route. They're passing Giovanni, sweeping on the inside comes Cameron Downs. They're 3 wide at the corner. They're still 3 wide all the way through. Cameron Downs will just take Peeling from Giovanni. Giovanni looking to try to hold it around the outside. It's not going to work. And Giovanni goes from 8th to 10th in a span of 4 corners there. Luca Rapassa being so aggressive on the overtake. Cameron Downs just sweeping up the inside, picking in moment.
Cameron really needed to do that as well, with Furious stuck behind Hazara and Flotman down in 18th place. He needs to use everything to his power to keep as many points in his bag as possible. Joe Murphy is stuck behind Quartz. He would probably be wanting to be ahead, and now Furious and Hazara have changed position. Furious is close to the points. Justin trying to go up the inside of Hazara as well, and the medium runner of Hazara really struggling. He's gone massively wide at turn 13, and he's dropped even more positions.
Yeah, Hazara big mistake there just before the right-hander. Lost the car down in P16, and now Gabor set the fastest time of the race so far. DRS for GT10 Ghost King, we'll see him retake the lead of this race, and with the GT10 Quartz being overtaken potentially by BRT Joe Murphy. Joe Murphy's going to hold. Oh, was that a spin? Luca Rapassa potentially being spun by Cameron Downs. I'm not too sure what happened, if it was under braking or if it was a mistake. But Luca Rapassa having a lot of problems now down in P11 as Furious swips on the inside and takes up P10.
It's not ideal, and that's, well, whether that was an incident and Cameron Downs caused that, he's just, and if that was the case, he's just caused Furious to get into the points because of it. Hazara out of this Grand Prix, whether he picked up damage or what, we're not 100% sure, but it's not ideal, and he is gone. That's unfortunate for the RB driver. Brando unable, a very feisty start to this Grand Prix on lap 1, but being a little bit quiet behind Gabor and Ghost King at the moment. I think maybe just sizing up the opportunity a little bit later on. Tootie there in 5th place. He's again, pretty quiet. If we have a look at the positional changes, the top 7 have not changed positions from their starting place. Cameron Dowds is up 2, Furious is up 7, so he's making those mediums work.
Yeah, he had to make those mediums work. Down in P17 from the start, you know, he had to go on the ultimate strategy, just try and get the early overtake done, and by the way, that worked out perfectly for him. Look at Rapasa, of course, now going to try and get back buy-in with the DRS enabled on the Alpine car. He's just going to follow with the slipstream of TTM. Furious pulls to the inside line, should be move done for Luca Rapasa. He's back on the inside. Oh, again, Luca Rapasa spinning round, potentially just under the brakes there. He just loses the rear out of the corner. I'm not sure how that's happened, but no movement on front again. Just Luca Rapasa struggling into the hairpin once more, and that's also Danny Van Ruyten up into the place for BRT Justin's as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of Barracu nearly took Brando into turn 1. It looked like Ghost King was kind of trying to box Brando in, maybe picking his opponent that he wanted on the next lap, whether it was Gabor or Brando, and he tried to get let Barracu have that 3rd place, it looked like. But we'll wait and see. Some great moves and battling throughout, but unfortunately Luca Rapasa, like you mentioned, seems to be struggling in that first corner or the first section.
Yeah, it just seems every single time through that part of the track that Cameron Dowd side by side with GT10. Quartz got up the hill here, he's still side by side. Cameron Dowd on the other side, got that move done for P7 on track. Of course, Quartz with a damaged wing was hindered through the corners there. But anyway, back to the turn 1. He said Luca Rapasa just really struggling on the brakes. As soon as it comes to that sort of end of the braking zone where you're braking a little bit heavier to get the car stopped and turned in, he's just losing the rear completely. So Tessa needs time to change that brake bias, go a little bit higher for him, and move it to a little bit of a higher setting, just so he can make that corner a little bit easier.
Looks like there's a change in the lead, and here comes Joe Murphy as well, having a look up the inside. Around the outside of Barracu goes Tudi, and Tudi and Barracu fighting away, and Joe Murphy trying to ghost through the car, it looks like, but it didn't work in the end, and Cameron Dowds has come to join the party, and this is going to be all over the place as we see Barracu and Tudi a little bit of a wheel touch. Joe Murphy's left the session. That's absolutely heartbreaking for the RB man, and he's going to drop down the order, but that means Cameron Dowds should be able to use this to his advantage and maybe get a bit further up the points. A little bit of a struggle for grip at the hairpin though, which will lose him ground for Barracu ahead.
Yeah, really will lose him a bit of ground. You see the train just sort of developing as of right now. Gabor, of course, leading the way. Ghost King going to follow the 2 Mercedes. By the way, being in this position for the 2 Mercedes isn't too good because, of course, we know that one of them's going to have to pit at one point. So no matter what's going to happen, wait, Ryan's down in P15, I say my mistake, completely TRT 20 in fourth with Barracu is in 5th, and 2 Mercedes down separated completely. Sorry, complete mistake. Barracu is in 5th right now. Cameron Dowds, by the way, is getting a little bit feisty with some of these cars. Giovanni just been sort of following him for the moment. Quartz also felt a little bit of a tap from Cameron when he pulled for that overtake. Cameron Dowds is going for it at the moment, using the battery and just trying to get past as much of the field as possible.
Yeah, I think that's possibly the best thing. He's got to follow Tudi and go around the outside of Tudi and get a double try. No, he doesn't get a double overtake, but he looked at it. He's going very quickly though. He's pushing as hard as he can, and just behind, Justin and Quartz battling away. Quartz holding on to the position for the moment, but that front wing really compounding miseries for him, as there goes Cameron Downs and Barracu. Danny very close as well. It's all real close. It's a DRS train, but still able to make some moves.
Yeah, he's really getting it done. Look at Justin again on the inside of GT10. Quartz, see a harder line on the outside now for Justin. Quartz won't give this up easily. Still not giving it up easily. Is it going to be potentially on the outside for Justin? It is on the outside line. What a move by BRT Justin. He's now through and into 7th place. TRT20 holds on to 6th. But I'll tell you what, big moment here though. Cameron Dowds not in the DRS range of the cars ahead.
Yeah, I think that's partly though down to his battling with Barracu. And you wonder, have they made a mistake through all this, and how much battery has Cameron Dowds wasted? Is he going to be able to swing it back in? I don't think he is. It's going to be far enough away. The DRS detection point is before turn 14, so he's going to have to defend like an absolute lion to keep Barracu and Tudi from overtaking him. or maybe he needs to use them to get back into that DRS ahead.
Yeah, he's got to use them as a sort of slipstream. Let them go by and slingshot his way back up into the DRS, because right now they are losing more and more time in the straight. At 1.7 seconds the gap between Cameron Dowds and TRT Brando. Mistake there at the turn one. Who is that? Is that maybe Gatkowski? It is Gatkowski. Round at turn one. I'm not sure what's happened and who's involved. Just point out, by the way, TTM Flopman is in P18, our championship leader, not having a good day out so far. He's down in P18. He needs to try and pick up the pace because he's got crucial points. He can score.
Him and Andrea have front wing damage, left end plate damage, which could be the reasons for their misery, which is not ideal at all. Barracu 1.3 seconds away from Brando, and I do wonder if Gabor, Ghost King and Brando saw the squabbling behind and thought, this is our time to bolt, and they did. Used some of their battery just to break that chain of drivers behind, and they can start worrying about just themselves instead of the 16, 17 drivers behind them.
Try and keep focus for now, just see where the race is going to take them. At the front, of course, Gabor, Ghost King, Brando, broke away from their own little train here. 1.7 seconds the gap there. They really broke away from Barracu and Cameron Dowds, who now has the DRS on this lap. He'll fly by Barracu just in a moment's time. Jumping onto lap number 8 of another 21 to go then. Ghost King now retakes the lead of the race. Starting off pole, Gabor still in second. Brando's held third for pretty much all of the race here. Barracu and Tudi have got the battle there, but that's Barracu holding at P5 with the Red Bull.
Tudi and Justin fighting away, and I think Justin might get the position, and he does, as he has a quick look up the inside of Barracu as well, but not being on nothing to be on this occasion. Justin, we've not seen the best of him this season. His qualifying wasn't the best either, but his racing, he's got his elbows out again, and he's starting to be a little bit feisty and get himself in the swing of things. And it looks like Cameron is trying to pull away from Barracu here. He's trying to make his own little race and be on his own at the moment, because Barracu is 0.9 of a second behind him.
Yeah, Barracu now trying to keep up with Cameron Dowds. Cameron Dowds having a very clean start to the lap here, and a very, very good middle segment for Barracu can have a mistake. We can see the gap slowly but surely closing and getting bigger, but it's closing now. It's going to get bigger again. I'm not too sure what it's going to be. I think he might have just got it confirmed. Oh yeah, he definitely has got it confirmed. Barracu should have DRS unless he's going a bit of battery here. He's going to be close. Oh, he's actually out of the DRS range. Does he get it in the end? I'm not sure he did actually. You just see how quickly he jumps onto the straight. Cameron Dowds, I believe, might have just got it from the cars ahead. He hasn't got it down the straight, and neither does Barracu. So yeah, Barracu hasn't got DRS this lap.
Cameron Dowds has the fastest lap of the race and really pushed it to the limits. Gabor retakes the lead. Brando finally up into second place. He's been overtaken. He's overtaken Ghost King as well. Ghost King dropped 2 places there. Cameron Dowds tried everything to close that gap to the drivers ahead, and it just hasn't worked. And now has Justin for company behind, and Justin is no easy company. There's 2 Ferraris up the top end of this grid, which could cause pit stop nightmares for Justin, especially if there's a safety car. Danny Van Ruyten there in 8th place, getting past Quartz, and we've got to give it to Quartz. He's holding on with that damaged front wing very, very well.
Yeah, Danny Van Ruyten, he had to get by Quartz. They look at our pass on the inside line, trying to follow through the Mercedes. 2 Shazoo drivers trying to work together here, and it looks like they've both got through there. Danny Van Ruyten, look at our pass on, working together, just getting themselves through. Quartz knows these damages. It gets so much worse just as the race goes on. It'll get harder and harder to drive with, and now he really needs to try and step it up at the moment just to see what he can do once he carries on the rest of this battle.
And Ghost King, I think, has caused their own downfall, the top 3, because he tried to go for a move up the inside of turn 13 on Brando and had to drop back, and that's allowed Cameron Dowd for the first time in a few laps to get back within the DRS ahead, and that's allowed him to defend from Justin. And Brando finally leads the Grand Prix on lap 10. He's had to wait. He's done it though, and he leads this Grand Prix, but everyone back in that train all the way down to 14th place.
Yeah, this train is very, very good so far. Furious and medium tyres are definitely starting to die out though, so he's going to have to think about a pit stop at some point. Look at NLR Ryan on the back of Furious now. Might want to try and get by a close championship Ryan, but you can see Ryan on the outside line here on Furious. All the way around the outside. Good space left by Furious. Great battle going on. Ryan! What a move on the outside line. He's through up and into P11 now.
Ryan needed it. He was a long way back at the start of this Grand Prix. And he's finding his feet again. Cameron nearly out of DRS range again to the top 3. 0.7 of a second. It was as high as 0.85 a minute ago. But he's managed with the DRS assistance to get back into just 0.7. But it's very close. And I think he's trying to harvest a little bit of ERS to help him down the straight, the start-finish straight, but he has just slowly. I tell you what, Cameron does look very quick in this third sector, or the second sector to the third sector split.
Yeah, he's hooking up the uphill left-hander and the long right very nicely every time. He just needs to get the turn in better than the rest of them, by the way. Furious lost 2 positions there after being overtaken by Joe Murphy and by TF10 Giovanni. Furious and medium really dying out. He's got to think about a pit stop at some point. These hard tyres can go a very, very long time and more though. How long can they be competitive? Look at Danny Van Ruyten potentially on the inside line of Tudy. Tudy blocks it off. Tudy not all the way though. Look at Danny Van Ruyten on the outside line of Tudy. They're still battling away with the wheel. Danny barely on the track there. He's going to look for the move on the outside line still. Going to switch to the inside for the next corner. Tudy still on along the outside now though. Danny Van Ruyten on the brakes. He's later on the brakes. He gets it stopped and it should be a little bit. Tudy's back up the outside now. He's going to go for the move. He switches back to the inside for Tudy. They flick wheels there and Danny Van Ruyten takes P8. P7, sorry, from TRT Tudy now than a P8.
Yeah, Tudy, it was as high as 4th place as early on in this Grand Prix, but Danny Van Ruyten doing a fantastic job. Elbows out, but have they done enough? Well, have they done damage to their chances of the top 6 because they are outside of that DRS range? In the background, that's Joe Murphy going massively wide. Nick picking up a 3-second time penalty. Our first penalty of the session so far. It's taken 11 laps for that, which is unfortunate for Nick, but great for the drivers nonetheless, I think is what I was trying to say. Tudy, though, struggling. It doesn't look like he's got front wing damage. Maybe he's just used a lot of his ERS because Luca Rapassa is all over the back of him.
Yeah, Luca Rapassa just sort of picked up the pace down here in P9 and look at the back of Tudy and get that move done. See, Tudy's just very, very vulnerable to an overtake. DRS is open, just nothing he can do against Luca Rapassa, who's still alongside. He might get shut off. Look at Tudy trying to force the move through Danny Van Ruyten. He's shoved him wide. They go battling again. Luca Rapassa and TRT Tudy. Luca Rapassa on the inside line. They now switch to the inside for Tudy on turn 2. The exit they go. Look at Danny Van Ruyten. 3 wide potentially. They're not going to go for it here. Frugal Luca Rapassa. Look at Tudy. 3, 4 wide down the straight. GT10 quad is involved. They go 4 wide, 3 wide through the corner. It's Luca Rapassa, quarters on Danny Van Ruyten. Danny Van Ruyten through P7. Quarters still in there. They're still battling away. 3 wide through the corner. Oh my goodness me, still going all the way through. Look at her pass on Danny Van Ruyten all the way through. Danny's still going for it. Look at her pass on the inside line. He's through, potentially he's stopped. Danny's through P7. Lucas in P8. GT10 Quartz will take P9.
Quartz is defending from Ryan up the inside through into turn 10, but Ryan surely got this done. This is great bit of opportunistic move, and again, Tudy, Joe Murphy, and pushing Tudy off the track there. I'm not sure how or what or way or why or whatever is going on, but surely Ryan has got to get this move done on Quartz at this point. Quartz has managed to get back ahead, even with his damaged front wing, but up into 13. Ryan tried to hop the curb and get above, but it's just not happening for him, and he's stuck behind GT Quartz. And now this train is 4 seconds behind the front lead, the leaders.
King now going to switch from the lead. Gabor retains lead of the race. Ghost King going to go for second. Cameron Downs going to get involved as well, potentially for third there. Cameron thought about the move. He's not going to get it done. Brandon's going to have a worse line though through the next part of the corner. Look at Cameron alongside them already. DRS open for both cars, but Cameron now takes P3 and is onto the podium places on lap 13. Brando will have a mistake there. Potentially because Justin's right on his rear end. Barracu is close in 6th place, but now look at Rapassa so far back, he's going to kill himself in this battle. This front 6 have really got to start working together a bit more because they're broken into this train perfectly.
I just didn't know where to watch, didn't know where to stay. It's all over the place with the action tonight so far, and the top 6 doing a fantastic job. But Brando, for the first time, dropping outside of the top 3 after going into that lap as the leader, which is not ideal for the McLaren man or the TRT man there. But Gabble leads the way. He's doing a good job. He hasn't had any issues yet. I don't want to jinx it, but he's doing a good job. Lap 13 of 29. We're probably going to look for the hards to be pitting lap 18, 19, 20. Possibly for the softs if that's the way they want to play it.
Yeah, I'm not sure they want to go for soft. I mean, potentially they do, as you said, hard soft being available is maybe what some of them want to do, but maybe some of them want to go in a medium tyre, get that earlier, maybe feel more comfortable on a medium than they do the soft, because the softs of course wear very, very quickly. Going down the straight, like you can see GT10 Ghost King swapping with Gabor. You can see potentially Justin on the outside line. Cameron Dow's going to go for it again on Gabor here for second place. Gabor's still in there. Look at Cameron Down, he's put him a little bit off the track, but still through goes Cameron for second place. He's still going all the way down the track, wheel to wheel, battling away. GT10 Ghost going to block Cameron Dow's in and help Gabor a little bit more. Gabor's going to potentially just knock him a little bit wider than they would have liked to be, but nothing dangerous, and Cameron holds on to P3 and Gabor keeps second place for now.
This is absolutely insane in console tier 1 of WOR. Ghost King leads the way, Gabor in second and Cameron Dowd in third. Brando's still trying to find a way through and back into those podium positions. We'll have to see how Gabor handles this. He was a lot tighter to the apex of turn 10 than Ghost King was, but Ghost King's drive out seems to be a little bit better as they go through the tight and twisty part of, well, this flowing, I think, is possibly better, of 11, 12 and 13. But that second train is still 4.5 seconds away.
Yeah, they're so far off the train so far. It's going to be a difficult choice for Luca Rapasa to really gain on the rest of them. I think it's going to have to be an overcut for them to try and cut that gap a bit more. Yes, it's going to be a hard, tough choice, but you never know. You just never know in F1. So we'll wait and see. Oh, Gabor, slight mistake out in the last corner there. Cameron Dow's going to pounce on that situation. 6 tenths of gap between GT10 Ghost King and Gabor. Gabor burning the battery, by the way, all the way down the straight. Going to be able to overtake GT10 Ghost King for the lead here. He might just go for it. He will potentially go for the inside line. He does pit the inside line. On the outside line potentially now, though, it's not going to happen. Ghost King's there, Gabor's there, nothing going on. And it looks as though everyone's got through, including Luca Rapasa and Ryan. And virtual safety car has come out. What is the reasoning for that? I'm not sure. Oh, TTM next crash into the pit wall.
It's not ideal, and you do wonder if that was a little bit of an incident with someone, but that is not ideal for TTM Nick, and a virtual safety car is out, which nullifies everything. Gives the drivers a little bit of a time to relax and refocus a little bit, because they've been battling away hammer and tongs. Furious 12 seconds away from that second I say 12 seconds away from that second train. He's far away from 12 seconds away from that second train. Barracuda's left the session. That's not ideal, but we're back racing again. Not an ideal point for Ghost King or Gabor, but I don't think it's going to affect them too much as they head on down into turn 11 as the flowing left-hander here, as the red light flashes a little bit, but nothing major. About halfway through this session, let us know who you think is going to take victory. Is it going to be one of these top 6 or someone else going to get through it at this point? And for yourself, Ross, as well, who's going to win this one?
Well, every time we write off Furious, he ends up pulling something off, something remarkable off it. It's just ridiculous. But I think this week might be a bit different. He's a little bit further back than usual when it comes to this stage of the race. So I'm not going to count Furious, and I am going to look at the grid. I'm going to say Cameron Dowds. He's looked one of the quickest on the grid so far. I believe Cameron Dowds might have this one on this. See him diving for second place on GT10 Ghost King. Ghost King's not actually having it here. He's going to go back on the inside liner for turn 2 and the exit of turn 3. Cameron Dowds. Much better traction, much better exit. He's through. A TRT Brando might just take the situation into his own hands and go for third gear, but nothing's going to happen there. This is a Ghost King hold on a piece right.
It's all looking good. And last time out, season 17, Cameron managed third place. It was won in the end by Kai, who is possibly the most successful driver in the console era at Bahrain. 2 wins and a pole position as well to boot. But yeah, it's very... Cameron Dowds is doing a very good job. It seems like the Cameron of old, but he has just ghosted. I wonder if there was a little bit of a nip from Ghost King there at turn 10. There's a little shake of the car, so I'm not 100% sure what went on there, but nothing too bad, thankfully, and racing is back underway. Yeah, Cameron is looking very solid at the moment, and it could be another race victory for him, but we'll have to wait and see. Lap 16 of 29, we've lost 2 drivers. Nick, who retired after crashing into the pit wall, and Hazara very early on, and we believe for damage. 2D and Harrison decided to go on to medium compounded tyres.
Yeah, Barracu has always got the retire glitch. Unfortunately for Barracu, he's picked up the retire glitch, and as that is his race all but over, unfortunately. Barracu, all we can do. But Cameron Dowds now takes the lead of the race. A big battle on the turn 1 there. BRT Justin just going to get by GT10 Ghost King for Ferrari 2-3. Ghost King still in there, so is Brando. Brando's going to try and close up on him. Looks as though Ghost King making break away from Justin now. Justin drops back and holds on to P4. Big battle there. Looks as though Gabor had a little bit of a tap with Cameron Dowds just in front of them as well, but Ghost King under a lot of pressure now from the Ferrari of BRT Justin. TRT Brando still in there. The gap now only 3.6 seconds between Brando and Danny Van Ruyten. So if Danny Van Ruyten can pick up the pace a bit here, he could be between a 3-second gap very soon. Yeah,
I think those Danny and Luca and Ryan need to start working together. Joe Murphy there in 9th place is after his unfortunate, and again he goes massively wide at turn 10. That's not for the first time tonight that he's done that, but he's really struggling to keep the car on at that point on the track. But yeah, he's battling away towards the top, and then had that disconnect which cost him dearly, unfortunately. But the lead of this Grand Prix, the battle now is for between 5 cars, because poor Barracu's tyre glitch.
Yeah, unfortunately for Barracu, there's nothing they can do about that. Just the game, of course, having one of those moments. But as you said before, Danny Van Ruyten, Carapasa, and Ryan need to work together and really try and pick their moments as what they're going to do. GT10 Quartz is into the pit lane, one of the first hard runners to properly pit in this race, lap 17. So I believe you might be right in the sense that they're going to go for a hard soft here, Gareth. I think that is going to be the selection. A hard medium from here might be a doable option, but of course they want to just get onto that little bit of a better tyre. That's the softer. We can see Quartz onto the soft competent tyre. 2D of course is pit, and he's on the fresh medium tyres. These two opted for the mediums 2 laps ago. How will that undercut pay off? I'm not too sure. He looks a little bit too far back as of now. He is 26.7 seconds off of Gabor now. I think that might just be just enough to overtake Gabor if he comes at the pits.
Let's change to see what the leader positions are like, and it's, well, yeah, 26 seconds, like you quite rightly mentioned. It's gonna be interesting. I'm looking at this Gabor Justin thing, both in the Ferrari. Who goes first? Who wants to go first? I think Quartz just was desperate to get off that, get that front wing off, which is why he's a little bit further behind Harrison and Tudi than we would have expected with a front wing change. But down into turn 14, the front 5 go. They've still got a lead of about 3.5 seconds to Luca in 6th place. Does any of them blink on this lap? They don't on lap 18. So lap 19 they go, and this surely is going to be pit stop territory on this lap for some of these guys. But Luca, Danny, and Giovanni hasn't. Sorry, Joe Murphy throws himself in. Cameron Dowds retakes the lead of this Grand Prix, and I wonder if we're going to see Justin get his elbows out so he can get track position and have the pit stop he wants.
Yeah, you see he's on the barrier looking to get that move done on Gabor, but Gabor just covering them off, putting a bit of battery on himself and just allowing a bit of a gap between himself and Justin to allow Justin not to make the move, because Justin is very eager to get by his teammate here. He made to send it on the inside in the corner. He is going to send it almost later on the brakes than Gabor, but he's very good he did that, because he could have potentially had a big mistake. Oh, again, a collision between them both there. Justin getting a little bit too eager to get by, almost causing a collision there between himself and Gabor. We don't want any teammate collisions here, folks. Let's just keep it nice and clean before you both make a pit stop. Justin wants to get the move done. I think he will in position now. He's not going to get that move done, therefore Gabor will have the option to pit first.
See if there's anything any like Hail Marys into turn 13 from Justin. We know he likes to get his elbows out, but he's sticking behind for the time being. And I think whatever Gabor does, he does the opposite of on this lap. If Gabor pits, he obviously out. But if he sees Gabor don't pit, he will go in. I think that's all Justin can do, because you don't really want to be taking it onto lap 21 on those tyres. There goes Gabor. There goes the rest. Cameron and Justin decide to stay out.
Yeah, Gabor, Ghost King and Brando staying out. Sorry, going into the pits. Of course, Ryan can't pit. He now has to go one more lap. Gatkowski is going to go another lap as well. The rest of them all onto the soft component there. Giovanno also pitting onto the soft component of the tyre. Where is Furious in all of this though? Gabor now exiting the pit lane. So GT10 Ghosting. You see Furious charging down the straight. Out comes Gabor. Out comes Ghost King. Where will they be in terms of this training? You see Brando might be under pressure from Furious here. Look at TRT today. Gonna go for the move on Furious here. They're still going wheel to wheel. Through goes Tutti, sorry, on Furious. Furious wants to try and get back past Tutti. Tutti wants to get past Brando, but also all the fresh soft guys has got the tyre strategy perfectly and has jumped the rest of this train again.
You do wonder if Luca and Danny have got their strategy wrong. They've thrown on a set of mediums at the same time. Everyone else has thrown on a set of softs. They are going to be more racy at the end of the Grand Prix. They might have better traction at the points on the last few laps. But we'll have to wait and see. Cameron, Justin, Ryan, Gatkowski all yet to pit. And they are leading this Grand Prix by 7 seconds between them. But Gabor leading Ghost King. I mean, he's 21 seconds. And look at that. There's a little bit of, well, Furious's tail wagging, I guess, is what you could call it, down that back straight into turn 11. Maybe he's unhappy with something that we didn't see. But Cameron, Justin, Ryan, all surely pitting on this lap. And where do they come out in comparison to this battle? As we see drivers, Tudi is just losing positions hand over foot here. As I go and see what happens with Gabor.
Yeah, this really could go either way. Gabor now pummeling down the straight. And see him, Ghost King getting back through, so Gabor now takes second place. Ghost King takes the lead of the race. Cameron Dow's coming out of the pits. He's not going to be under pressure at all. Look at Rapace on TRT today. Look at Rapace fully sent it there. He might get that moved on. Furious been overtaken again. Look at Rapace through on today. And look at Danny Van Ruyten to make it another double overtake by the two Team Suzuki drivers. They're both compatriots in the same team, not in WOR though. But Danny Van Ruyten on the inside, and he's through on TRT today. What a move by Rapace on. A great move again by Danny Van Ruyten, and they are both through to 6th and 7th. Maybe their strategy isn't all that bad, Gareth.
Maybe not. We'll wait and see. They're keeping Joe Murphy behind for the time being. He's managed to get past Furious, which is one of his battles. And here goes Tudi as well. Tudi is really struggling. I can't see any damage to that car, but it looks like he's carrying damage.
Yeah, it looks as though he's going very, very slowly at the minute. I think it may just be the old hard component tyre, because these fresh softs are at the absolute peak they're on. After that first lap, they're gripped up, they're heated up, they're at their absolute peak, so they will be a lot faster. But yeah, I think it is fair to say Furious might be on the 0 point note here, because I'll tell you one thing, they're definitely on the 0 point note, and that's TTM Flopman. He's had an absolute disaster today, picking up damage early on. Both big championship rivals not scoring points, and Cameron Dow's potentially on for a podium. Yeah,
let's see what happens to the lead. Gabor goes to the inside, goes to take the lead of the Grand Prix for this God knows how many times tonight. Cameron Dowds retakes a position from Justin as well, and Luca and Danny swapping positions. Everything is, I don't know the best way to describe it. Everything is mental right now, I think is the best way to describe it. We don't know who's going to win or how it's going to come down in these final 6 laps.
Yeah, I'd like to see what people think in the YouTube chat. Who do you think is going to win this race? Is it going to be a Gabor finally taking a win in Tier 1? Is it Ghost King's moment of glory, or can Brando finally take the spoils from last week of a second place into a first this week? Would be a right good chance to put himself into the championship fight. Cameron Dowds is closing up that gap, by the way. It was 1.9 at the start of the lap. It is now 1.3. So Cameron Dowds, with that 1 lap fresher tyre, potentially could throw a spanner in the mix here.
Yeah, it's Justin there as well, which it looked like those two were working together just to get themselves into the position. We know how racy these two can be as well. They'll get their elbows out if they need to, and they did manage to get past Brando, Ghost King and well, Cameron Dowds managed to get past Gabble, but Justin wasn't able to at that first stint. Justin has done a fantastic job to get himself into the battle for the lead. But let's see if there's any positional changes as they head down the start-finish straight. Starting lap 23, Cameron Dowds is the fastest man on the track, which is kind of understandable given everything that we've seen so far. And Ghost King takes the lead of this Grand Prix, and Brando decides against attacking Gabble into turn 3.
Yeah, the rest of the behind 3.7 seconds back for Luca Rapasa. And Danny Van Ruyten, nothing they can do. Unfortunately, it's going to be the best of P6 for these two. They'll have a nice close battle, though. To see you can take that P6, but the front, Gabor and Brando having a very close battle there. For second place, Gabor holds on at the moment. Cameron Dowds, by the way, is now caught up and into the DRS range of the guys ahead. Justin also just in behind Cameron Dowds in the Aston Martin ahead. He's in the DRS range. There's Danny Van Ruyten has had a spin down at the entry in the middle part of sector 2. Danny Van Ruyten goes for a spin. Must have been just a bit too eager on the traction, and around he goes. Very unfortunate for the Mercedes, now out of the points, and that promotes Joe Murphy into 7th, Tootie into 8th, and Furious and Ryan into 9th and 10th.
Ryan now back into the points, and another race where he's going to get points here tonight as long as he keeps it clean and pointing in the right direction. Katkowski, who had a torrid qualifying, is up into 11th place, possibly getting some points, and not ideal for Luca. A 3-second time penalty to his troubles there in 6th place on those medium compounder tyres. Let's have a look at the lead of this Grand Prix, because I think it's going to change. Does Brando go for it 3 wide into turn 1? He just doesn't have the straight line speed to attack Gabble, but he has got 2nd place away from Ghost King. Joe Gomez. There's no Joe Gomez. It's Cameron Dowds in 4th place, who I was trying to say decided not to attack as they come down into turn 4. Cameron's trying to find a way past the Kick-Sauber car, but Brando finally takes the lead of this Grand Prix, but he's gone too deep into turn 4. Is he going to have enough straight line speed? He does, and there's contact between Gabor and Ghost King. Hopefully there's no damage to Ghost King, but he's now dropped, and he's caught up with Justin as they head into turn 8, and the action's still happening as they round through the remainder of sector 2.
Yeah, this is really kicking off now, isn't it? The grid is finally getting a little bit closer. They know the positions that they're in now. We've got 5 laps to go in this Grand Prix. This seriously could go either way at the moment, and honestly, what a way for a what a finish this would be in the end for everyone. This could be a fantastic ending once again. It was so close last week in Monza. Could it be even closer for Bahrain? That would be a fantastic way to have a good 2 weeks back. Flopman's Day goes from horrendous to absolutely terrible. 3-second time penalty, 16th place, not the day the championship leader would be wanting.
He's going to be cursing it today, but down the start-finish straight for lap 25. Here comes Cameron Dowds with Gabble. Gabble's got incredible straight line speed, and I don't think anyone can keep up with him as he comes down. Cameron Dowds decides to try and attack Brando through this all as well. It's side by side with Brando and Cameron Dowds. Cameron is desperate to try it. He has done it as well. Now Justin's getting involved as well. It's not going to happen on this occasion, as they're still side by side as they come through turn 4. Justin's trying to pick up the pieces of Brando, and surely he's got it done, but they're still side by side as they head through this sweeping part of the track, and Justin goes massively wide and has to come out behind Ghost King for the time being. At this short, it's not finished yet. Brando's made a mistake, and it's flipping close is all I can say.
Yeah, this is just getting ridiculous now. I mean, drivers are going to enter this fight for the win. It seems every lap once again we're having a new change of position or leader, or something's going to happen that's going to alter this race finish. But it looks as though Gabor having a cool, calm, collected lap once again. It looks as though he's just going to be regaining the RS, just trying to see if he can have the RS for the final lap and keep ahead of those guys behind him, because this would be a crucial and a really nice win for MVR Gabor, who will have to get a really clean race today. Brando will be a solid podium once again. Ghost King will not be done fighting though. Neither will BRT Justin. Although he's well out of the boys, Justin wants as many podium finishes as he can this season. All will get DRS in the straight once more. Lap 26 and 29 then. Gabor and Cameron Dowds swapping positions once more. Cameron Dowds will retake the lead of the Grand Prix.
I don't know if I'm going to get my breath back before the end of the Grand Prix, but it's so close at the moment as they turn through, go through turn 1, through turn 2. There's positional changes behind between Gatkowski and Ryan, Luca is keeping a hold of the back end of Joe Murphy for the time being. They're not going too wide into turn 4, the leaders this time around. And they will just probably set their sights on the final 2 laps to jostle positions and get themselves sorted. Ryan gets back past Gatkowski for the battle for P8. And Ryan and Gatkowski will want to push hard, so they get in within 3 seconds of Luca ahead. Gatkowski, give it to him. He's had a fantastic race, starting, I think, 19th place tonight. He's done a fantastic job to get himself into 9th for the time being. Giovanni is possibly going to have a non-point scoring finish tonight because of that 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, this is going to be, unfortunately, for Luca Rapace. He's going to drop back a bit further than he would like. And both Alpines, of course, having a 3-second time penalty, is going to drop them back even further. So Giovanni won't even get a point at the moment, because Danny Van Ruyten will take that point from him because of his penalty, unfortunately. Luca Rapace, of course, will drop below P9 as well. He's dropped 2 P9, sorry, to that 3-second. He's got a yellow flag, is that for PGR Andrea, and indeed PGR Andrea spun round in that final sector. By the way, Cameron Dowds has pulled 8/10s here on MVR Gabor down the straight. I'm not sure if Gabor made a mistake or something down the straight, because that's a massive bit of a penalty to have. Justin going straight on there at the hairpin almost. Ghost King gets back through, and he's now into P4 at the moment as well. Brando into 3rd place. Gabor still 2nd, 6/10ths back on Cameron Dowd. If Gabor is making mistakes in the 3rd sector, that could be crucial as we look towards these final 2 laps here.
Justin and Ghost King still battling away, and Justin's made contact. Well, I don't want to say Justin made contact, but there's contact made between Justin and Ghost King, and that has cost Justin maybe a little bit of tyre life because of the half spin as well. And Justin's going to be fuming with this. But look at that. You were quite right. Gabor and Cameron Dowd. Cameron Dowd has put the hammer down. Gabor's definitely got DRS on this occasion. But it's 8/10ths of a second. And Gabor is agonisingly close to being broken from DRS. I think Cameron has just been toying with everyone. And now he has decided to play his hand.
Yeah, Cameron knows he's got the pace now. You can see the gap he's pulled. He's burning the ERS. He doesn't want Gabor in that gap, but I think as though Gabor will just get there in the end. He will have DRS once more, but he's used all his battery. He wants to go back to regaining the battery that he had before and just seeing if he can just challenge, at least just challenge, get Cameron Dowds into the final lap. That's all that matters for Gabor at the minute, because if he can't challenge Cameron Dowds, it's a free win for Cameron Dowd, and he will retake the championship lead. He was 1st last week. He ended up 3rd after those results, and now he's going to be back to the top again.
And Tudi, I think, has retired. He's had enough, and that's unfortunate for him. And I think there's a Gatkowski into the pits now as well. He's not happy with his tyres. He possibly pitted a bit too early. Quartz, sorry, not Gatkowski. Oh no, Quartz. Yeah, Quartz is definitely in the pits. And Gatkowski and Ryan swapping positions. Luca, he's all over the back of Joe Murphy as well. Something else to watch out for. But Brando is now in 2nd place, and I wonder if Brando thinks he's got a chance of a victory and going one better than last week.
Oh, absolutely. Brando knows he's had pace this whole race. Gabor now being overtaken potentially by Brando. We're going to the final lap here, folks. Potentially one of the closest finals laps we're going to see in a long time again. We thought it was close last week. This one could be even better. 5 cars within 3.5 seconds of each other fully all together. But look at the gaps. They're all playing the DRS game. They all want DRS in the final lap. Don't be too scared. Look at Justin. He's just going for it on the inside. He's not going to have any DRS there. He's going to battle. Get Brando going to lose out there. Cameron Dowds is going to battle away as well. Justin, Cameron Dowds, Gabor, Ghost King, and Brando's in there. Who didn't get it? It's Justin. Justin didn't get DRS. They all go down the straight now. Cameron Dowds, Brando, they're still battling away. It's Cameron, it's Ghost King, it's Gabor. Gabor's in the lead. Ghost King's on the inside lane. He's going to get tapped by Brando potentially. Cameron Dowds is boxed in. Through goes Gabor and back into the race lead.
Oh my goodness me. DRS games to the max. And wow. Oh goodness me. Cameron Dowds, I think, mate, I don't know if he caused contact with Gabor there, but Ghost King now leads this Grand Prix. Cameron Dowds in 2nd, Justin in 3rd. And, oh goodness, what has happened at the end? That is going to be heartbreaking for Gabor, heartbreaking for Brando, unless they can do something in these final few moments. We'll have to wait and see. Gatkowski and Ryan battling away through all this as well. And, oh, goodness me, it is absolutely crazy end to this Grand Prix, Ross, and I'm not sure how it's going to go because Joe Murphy, sorry, not Joe Murphy, Cameron Dowds is desperate to take victory as they head on through turn 12. Into turn 13 they go. Will Cameron Hail Mary it? He doesn't. He decides to stay back for the time being. He's going to use all of his DRS. Defensive goes Ghost King. Last lap around, they were all slowing, trying to break themselves at this point. And in the background, there's carnage. But I think it's going to be Ghost King. Cameron Dowds doesn't have anything left. Ghost King's going to take victory here. It's going to be incredibly tight, but it is Ghost King for the victory for GT10. Cameron Dowds in second and Justin in third. Gabor in fourth. Brando in fifth. Gatkowski will come home in sixth place. Oh my goodness me. What an end to the Grand Prix.
Goodness me, as you said, what an incredible end. And another Grand Prix where the two cars that are 1 and 2 share just half a tenth between each other. We thought Monza was close, well Bahrain has lived up to every expectation, and wow, what a final lap. I do believe there might have been a little bit of contact there between Cameron Dowds and Gabor. From what I could see, Cameron Dowds was very aggressive into turn 4 on, I believe, Brando, and Brando sort of had a domino effect into Gabor. So very unfortunate for Gabor there to miss out on a potential race win, but Cameron Dowds takes second. He will jump up to the top of the standings once again, back to the top of the mountain with 3 rounds to go to exactly where he wants to be.
Wow. Not yeah, that was an end to Grand Prix. Just as close as it was in Monza, if not, I don't want to say closer. We will have to wait and see if it is closer, but that is how it will all pan out tonight. I've got no words really to describe how that Grand Prix is gone, but we will go down the order. It's not as close as it was last week with between the first and second driver, but it's very close to being that close. But it's Ghost King, Cameron Dowds and Justin, your podium sitters, with Gabor, Brando, Gatkowski, Ryan, Danny, Furious and Luca rounding out the top 10. Then you've got TF10, Giovanni, and Harrison. Quartz, Flotman, the original championship leader for this race, is not the championship leader anymore. He had a race from hell. Joe Murphy crashed into the pit wall on at the end there. Tudi, Andrea Barracu, and Nick Hazara did not finish this Grand Prix. Wow. That's an end of a Grand Prix that we thought might be happening. But goodness, that was very, very, very close end of the Grand Prix.
I don't think you could have asked for a better ending for a Grand Prix again. Of course, we thought Monza was the best. Bahrain, as I said before, lived up to every expectation expected. And well, of course, a Frenchie will come out on top this week. GT10 Ghost King. I believe he kept his race overall clean. We don't know. Maybe there's a little bit of something in there. The stewards will sure be busy. I'm sure there seems there's a couple of incidents potentially in there, but overall, what an ending to another incredible race here in WR Tier 1. Once again, we have a new championship leader, another one that retakes the lead. Cameron Dowds will retake that championship lead going into Mexico next week. So yeah, it's going to be just another hectic race out there. We thought Bahrain was bad enough. Just wait till it comes to Mexico last lap.
I do wonder if we're going to get anyone into the comms box to have a podium interview with us this season. But looking in the Discord console tier 1 chat, I don't know if we want anyone today. It is kicking off to high heaven, but I'm not sure how we describe that race, because that was elbows out all the way through.
Yeah, no, that was all the way through. It was tough racing. It was tough but fair, I thought, a lot of the time. Some of the times, of course, it was a little bit over the top from some. Some of them pushed a little bit wider there. Some of them used a lot of the curves where you can't really drive on them to their advantage. So yeah, there was a couple of times where I thought it could have been a bit cleaner, but overall I thought every battle was really tough but really, really fair. I thought Danny Van Ruyten tonight had some very good overtakes. showing that being tough and fair was the best way to go by it. Down the inside at the downhill corner, and also going down the inside at the tight right before you go towards the final corner. So I think Danny Van Ruyten tonight, in terms of moves, he looked pretty clean all the way through.
I do what I mean, I don't want to spark any sort of outcry, but a driver of the race, is there anyone you can pick? I don't want to. Obviously, there's questionable moves tonight, but yeah, I would love to know your thoughts on that one.
I mean, can you pick anyone but Cameron? I think Cameron's race tonight was something exceptional. Again, 10th to second is it's quite a remarkable thing. 9 overtakes. He was just half a tenth short of the 10th on the line. I think Cameron could be up there. I think Ghost King, to be honest with you as well. Yes, he started on pole, but his race was nothing easy at all. He had Gabor to deal with, he had Brando to deal with. He also had, the likes of, you said, Cameron Dowd and Justin as well. So overall, I think Ghost King had a very clean race. Obviously, it paid off in the end, and he took home his first WR win.
There is actually a certain Cameron in the waiting for box. For the first time this season, we are going to go to the podium interview screen, and I'll let you go away with this one, Ross. By all means, ask the man who finished second place or any question you like.
Absolutely, Cameron, welcome in. Again, another tough race for you. Have to say 10th in qualifying wasn't your greatest performance. What actually happened in qualifying? We'll go through that first. If he's here.
If he's here.
Oh.
Let's see this time if he can hear us. Hopefully you can. Cameron, there we go.
I'll just answer Greenhorn's question now. Well, I don't know if you've seen, but my qualifying is just pathetic recently. That was actually my PB. It's just a joke. I just have no pace in quali whatsoever at the moment. Especially this track was so weird. There was just no grip like whatsoever in the race or quali. The race was decent. I mean, the pace I was kind of weird because I felt like my pace was really bad, but then everyone else was just the same. But it was clean up until the end, but I made a mistake up into turn 3, and I rear locked and I went straight into Gabber. So I'm assuming that'll be a pen, to be honest. I just locked the rears because I was trying to brake so hard because I was at such an acute angle for the corner. So rear locked straight into Gabber. There was nothing really I could do, but yeah. Apart from that, it was a good race, good battles, and it was fun.
Yeah, it was. Seemed like that all the way through. Of course, you said the ending was a little bit of not your brightest moment. It did look like one of those you just went too heavy on the brakes and it ended up being a collision. But overall, I thought all the way through you picked your moments well. You were 10th, of course, on the start. You had a tough place to start. Anything can happen behind you. You got through that well. You found yourself in that top 5, and then of course the strategy ended up paying off. How close it was across the line, but. Yeah, overall, I think you did do very well, as you said. But I think a big one I need to ask you now, of course, Flopman and Furious dropping points, no point score for them. Joe Murphy not picking up any points. You now lead the championship once more. I don't believe you can drop too far down the grid anyway. So you lead the championship once more. What's the thoughts going into Mexico?
Well, I won't be racing next week. I'm on holiday, but I guess I'll just have to be hoping that my competitors don't really score too much. Hopefully.
Early hope for the rest of them. I'm sure of that. Warder, want to jump in with anything?
I mean, it's been a real tough season for everyone. I mean, real close points feel like they've hard to come by. How have you found this season to seasons gone by?
It's been fun. There's been a few races where there's been some pretty wild races. I think Australia was pretty crazy, and then I'm sure there's been a few more. But it's been fun. There's been a lot of wheel to wheel action, which I enjoy. Some clean, some not, but it's still fun at the end of the day. And yeah, it's been good.
Have you found this season more difficult than previous? Obviously, you came in at the end of last season, 3 wins on the bounce this season. Obviously, a new game as well, which doesn't always help. But have you found it more difficult?
Definitely. I'm struggling a lot more in this game for just outright pace. Last game, the driving the car just suited me perfectly. The way you were able to drive the car, it was just absolutely perfect for my driving style. In this game, it's definitely not. You've got to flick the car into corners, and it's just quite stupid, to be honest. It's not how an F1 car is driven. So yeah, I'm struggling a bit more for outright pace on this game, but I've still got decent pace.
You've mentioned that you're missing Mexico, but Saudi and Japan, are you here for that one? And do you think you can claim the title this season?
Yep, I'll be there for those two. And it's been it depends, to be honest. This season's been pretty crazy. I mean, I don't even know how I ended up in first in the championship. I don't even know how many times I've won. But anything can happen, I guess. I think I'm definitely in contention of it, though. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for jumping into the comms box with us for this one. It's appreciated, and I hope you enjoy your holiday next week and enjoy the rest of the season.
Yep. Thank you. You too.
Right then, we've got another one as well, Ross. We've got Justin with us as well. It's like buses, London buses. You never know. Well, you're going to wait for them for years, and then they come all at once. Hopefully, Justin, you can hear us. But hand over to Ross again for some questions.
Yeah, of course, Justin, welcome in again. Another good race from yourself. You had a tough race, you could say. Of course, the ending didn't go as planned. You've took home a podium. What was the reaction overall?
I bought the quality of it, in my opinion. I was like 14 off. That wasn't that ideal. Firstly, so B13. Then that one was a lot of carnage. Then I just made my way up, and at some point I was behind Cameron. I just followed him. Yeah, and then they were playing DRS check-in and just going B1 and just wanted to wait for the car to step in the lap 29, and it happened, I guess. And there was an incident as well, which I could gain a position in.
Yeah, it sounds just to be right. Of course, you did see the final lap. You managed to avoid the Cameron and Gabor incident. How did that play out in front of you? Was there a bit of a Cameron kind of came out of nowhere, or do you think there's other people involved?
It was wrong behind Cameron. I think he rear looked and just had a snap, and he steered to the left, and he hit Gabor into, I think it was Brando. And I hit Cameron as well, but luckily I didn't have damage. But yeah, they both just went off track in my POV.
Yeah, absolutely. It looked as though that for everyone else, but nothing else from me. Ward, or anything for yourself?
It's not been, someone that was classed as a possible championship contender at the start of the season. It's not been a season for that for you this season. I mean, is there any reasons for it? And I mean, are you just now coming into each race to score as many points as possible?
I mean, of course, when you go round one, you go for the championship. But I've had some unlucky moments and driving mistakes this season. And if you want to win a championship, then I need to don't do that, because I've lost a lot of points, which I could possibly just be really close to the championship at the moment. But it's just not in this season for me to even get close to it. I mean, of course, I'm getting good results now, but it's basically too late, because I think there's 3 rounds left.
Yeah. So, Mexico next. Is it a track you like? Are we going to see you on track, or is it, are you following, not literally following Cameron on holiday, but are you away as well?
Yeah, I'm there, but Mexico is bad for me. I'm bad as well, so that's not going to work perfectly, but just going to try and get as much points and just avoid carnage, I guess. That's the only thing I can do.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for jumping in with us, Justin. Good luck for the remainder of the season. We will hopefully speak to you soon.
Yeah.
Right then, Ross. That's it. That is the Bahrain Grand Prix. Completely hectic in console tier 1. How do you round that one up?
That is, that was definitely one of those races to remember. I mean, it was something that was had everything, a bit of everything. Of course, a little virtual safety car in to break up the race a bit more. The trains developed really well, and that final lap was another lap that you need to rewatch again and just see how everything just managed to come down. But yeah, once again, a really good race. Well done to Ghost King, of course, on that win. Justin and Cameron Dowd's taking the final podium position. Will that change from the stewards? Well, we can all find out next week once the results are posted and the standings are updated. I cannot wait for Mexico next week. Of course, now we know Cameron Dowds is not available. A big, big moment in the championship. We see the new championship leader will not be there. So Flopman and Furious, start getting practice on, lads.
Definitely. Wow, what a Bahrain Grand Prix we had. Qualifying was intense. The race was even tighter. Thank you for everyone that was watching. Cameron's dad, who's an absolute avid supporter of WOR, and obviously his son. He doesn't come here to watch his son. He comes here for WOR, and that's what we believe anyway. But no, thank you so much everyone for watching. It's been great. Thank you yourself, Ross. It's been a fantastic Bahrain Grand Prix. But for now, we'll catch you next week for the Mexican Grand Prix.